I've got my glasses on. Ooh. I've got my books. I look serious. Let's get into it. So hey guys, welcome back to a new video. My name is Grace if you're new here, and if you're not, it's nice to see you again. So in today's video, I decided all the way since last year that I wanted to share some nonfiction recommendations. Right. So I thought, let me share some recommendations that I have while also sharing some books that I plan on reading this month. I'm gonna give you guys some insight. At first, I was gonna recommend some books to you guys, but I'm gonna do that in a substack. By the time this video is out, the substack will be linked down below, so you'll be able to see my recommendations, why I recommend it, and as you're watching this, be able to see what I'm reading at the same time. I wanted to do it all in one video, but I decided that would be such a great feat, and I didn't want to overwhelm myself because that's a lot for that man. So yeah, let's just focus on what I'm reading for Nonfiction November, and yeah, let's get into it. So this month, I'll start it off with The Intersectional Environmentalist. So this one has been on my list for a hot minute. This is by Leah Thomas. Like the subtitle says, it talks about how to dismantle systems of oppression to protect people and the planet. I love everything that this book is about, so I had this on my list for a hot minute, and I decided this month would be the month to just buckle down and really read it. I was so excited when I randomly decided to look it up at my library and it had a physical copy. I was super excited for this one. I really love the topic. I've never heard much about this topic before, but obviously as a Black woman that cares about the environment, I really resonate with this author and how she wanted to, create a space for herself and really advocate for the environment while also discussing how it affects her as a Black woman. So really important stuff here. I started reading this one a little bit already. I'm excited to read the rest. The next one that I plan to read this month is the autobiography of Malcolm X. I've always wanted to know more about Malcolm X, and I found this in my grandparents' basement. Yeah. Obviously. But it's still in pretty good shape, so I was like, why not set aside this book for this month? This is a certified classic, and I'm excited to get into it. The next book that I want to read this month is Women, Race, and Class. I've loved the books that I've read so far by Angela Y. Davis, so this one has been long overdue. From online, it says exactly that it's a powerful study of the women's liberation movement and the tangled knot of oppression facing Black women. Need I say more as to why I should read this? I think we should all read it. And I definitely think it's another classic. Not even think, it is another classic. Another book that I've been wanting to read, and if you've actually watched a lot of my TBR videos, you've already seen this multiple times. But I'm actually going to try this time, and if I don't read it this time, I'm never going to mention it in another video again. But I've been wanting to read Walkable City by Jeff Speck. Essentially, it talks about how walkable cities can fix a lot of problems that people face in cities in America. I really agree with that. But from the cities that I've lived in, I've seen that, or just the importance of making a place walkable, making sure that the transit systems are upkept and really are for the people. And I think walkable cities are really where I see myself. Yeah, I definitely think I could at least start it this month. So I'm lowering the stakes. I definitely could start it this month. Next is Legacy by, must be a doctor, so put some respect on her name, Dr. Uche Blackstock. She's reckoning with racism in medicine. So huge topic, pressing issue. I know this book has so much information to offer and so much insight. There's such a huge problem in the healthcare system, especially in the US, where Black women's pain is not looked at the same. It's undermined, and how it has been lethal for some women. So definitely an important read. I need to get into this one ASAP. The next book that I want to read is Past Life. At this point, this 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 video is just turning into telling you all the nonfiction books that I want to read that are on my priority TBR. So the next book that I want to read is Rooted. This one is by Bria Baker, and it talks about the American legacy of land theft and the modern movement for Black land ownership. I need me some of that. Right. This book essentially is going to explore the impact of land theft and violent displacement on racial wealth gaps and argue that justice stems from the literal roots of the earth. Why wouldn't I want to read about that? Yeah, I'm really interested in this book because of the history that I'm literally on the edge of my seat to learn, and it's super important for Black people to own land. So yeah, I'll let you guys know how that one goes. The next book that I want to read this month is Reclaiming Our Space by Feminista Jones. This one is discussing how Black feminists are changing the world from the tweets to the streets. Okay. So this is another one which talks about intersectionality and why intersectional movement building will save us all. As a social media manager and strategist, it's super interesting to see the impact of social media in certain movements, just the power that it has. So yeah, really interesting book and can't wait to get into it. Yeah. Another book that I've been wanting to read, The Swans of Harlem by Karen Velby. 5 Black ballerinas, 50 years of sisterhood, and the reclamation of a groundbreaking history. So this one is essentially talking about a group of ballerinas who weren't really put to the forefront of, I wouldn't really say like the movement, but more so when Black ballerinas started being accepted in spaces that they weren't accepted in before. I thought, why not? I've always loved the art of ballet, and just that type of dancing has always intrigued me. I've, taken my classes, I've gone to the ballet, never really saw a lot of Black ballerinas, and even still, like when I go to certain productions, there's only one Black person or one POC, even that. But yeah, I've just made it a priority to go to shows or go to recitals where the majority is Black. I'm seeing diversity, people that look like me up on stage. It's really, really important. It's something that made me pick up this book and just to learn more about these women and their impact. So yeah, another great one. 2 other books that I've been wanting to read are... Actually, no, there's 3 more books. So the first one that I want to read is How Europe Underdeveloped Africa. That one is by Walter Rodney. And it really just describes how Africa was deliberately exploited and underdeveloped by European colonial regimes, especially with what's going on in the Congo and in multiple parts of Africa. I've been wanting to just find out more about how this all started, and I thought what better way than to read this book. So that's another one that's up there for me. Another book that I've been wanting to read is Dope Sick. This is by Beth Macy. It essentially talks about the origin and evolution of the opioid epidemic in the US, beginning primarily with the 1996 release of the drug oxycodone. I started watching this series on Hulu, and then I was like, hold up, let me go back to the source. I'm going to read the book first, and then I'm going to revisit the series. And last but not least, the last book that I want to read this month is Never Saw Me Coming. This one is by He Had It Coming. Never Saw Me Coming by Tanya Smith. Since I saw the cover with the words on it, how I outsmarted the FBI and the entire banking system and pocketed $40 million, I was like, I have to know more. Yeah, it's definitely giving Catch Me If You Can, which was a good movie. I'm very intrigued. So yeah, from the ones that I have physically, shout out to the library and book swaps. I got these 2 from book swaps, these 2 from the library, and my grandparents' basement. Shout out them, shout out everybody. Super excited to get into these books. And yeah, definitely share what you guys are reading this month for Nonfiction November, or what you recommend. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. All right, bye guys.